Level 1. The Apprentice. You're 18, living in a rented box room near Banbury. After rent, your bank balance shows £83. Your badge says Apprentice, which means everyone can enter doors you cannot. A blue paint pen lives in your chest pocket. You bought it before your first shift, imagining signatures on winning machinery. Your dream is simple. Reach the race team. Touch the car under television lights. Hear your work leave the garage at full throttle. On Tuesday, you fail. You fit a small bodywork fastener backwards during a supervised assembly. Inspection catches it before the part reaches the car. Nothing breaks. Nobody shouts. That is worse. Your supervisor circles the mistake with your own blue pen, then places the part back on your bench. You learn the first law of Formula One. Speed begins with work performed slowly. Your days start before sunrise. You clean tools, count fixings, read drawings, shadow technicians, and repeat safety procedures until they invade your dreams. The factory smells of resin, cutting fluid, warm electronics, and expensive coffee you cannot afford. Behind glass walls, engineers discuss airflow like weather gods. You carry boxes past them. Then a senior technician asks you to prepare a fastener kit alone. You check every label 3 times. The kit returns empty. No complaint. That is your first invisible victory. Months become years. Your hands harden. Your friendships narrow. Friday drinks disappear because Saturday belongs to training. Your family says you're lucky to work in racing. You agree, while missing birthdays for parts nobody watching will ever see. One evening, the factory falls quiet. A race car sits beneath white lights. Your supervisor tosses you the checklist. You were finally trusted to touch it. The blue pen stops being a dream. It becomes evidence. Level 2. The Build Technician. You're 21. Your name now appears beside assemblies. That tiny printed line feels like a promotion and a threat. You work in Race Bay Build, where the car is never truly finished. New floors arrive, revised brake ducts appear, suspension parts change after meetings you never attend. Every update carries a drawing, a deadline, and somebody's reputation. Your job is translation. Engineers create intent. You turn intent into hardware. The glamour is mostly fluorescent lighting. You measure, install, inspect, remove, and reinstall. A component worth more than your annual pay can be ruined by dirt, impatience, or one careless tool. You develop rituals: clean bench, ordered sockets, fresh gloves, final sweep. The others tease you for checking the same tray twice. Then your car passes inspection while another bay searches for a missing washer. You gain access to confidential drawings. You lose the freedom to speak casually. At dinner, friends ask what the new car looks like. You answer with jokes about photocopiers. Your partner learns that silence is part of your employment. The factory calendar rules your body. Upgrade weeks mean late finishes. Crash damage means midnight calls. Spare clothes stay in your locker because home becomes uncertain. Your reward arrives inside a plain email. You are selected for race team support at a European event, not permanent travel, a trial. At the circuit, the garage is smaller than television suggests. Everything has a marked position: cables, blankets, wheels, nose boxes, radios. The car returns from practice dirty, hot, and complaining through data. You reach for a panel too early. A mechanic stops your wrist. Wait for safe. 2 seconds later, the system is isolated. You understand the second law: urgency never cancels danger. The weekend ends without disaster. Nobody praises you. On Monday, your manager asks whether your passport is current. The door opens 1 centimeter. You step through. Level 3. The Race Team Mechanic. You're 24, and your suitcase lives beside the front door.
Now you travel with a car. Airports replace weekends. Freight schedules replace seasons. You know which terminals have showers, which hotels serve breakfast before dawn, and which country has misplaced your tool case twice. At the track, You belong to one side of the garage. The car arrives as freight and leaves as a weapon. You build, inspect, repair, and prepare it between unforgiving session clocks. Your first responsibility is readiness. You work beneath headsets and countdowns. Bodywork off, floor down, brakes checked, fluid sampled, cooling connected. Every task crosses another task. Nobody has enough space. Everyone must remain predictable. During practice, the driver clips a curb. The car returns with damage underneath. Engineers want measurements. Television wants drama. The session clock keeps dying. You slide under the chassis with your torch, feeling heat through your sleeves. The repair finishes with seconds remaining. The car reaches the queue. For the first time, you hear the engine fire because of work you completed. It is addictive. So is being needed. You begin saying yes to everything. Early setup, late strip down, extra pit stop practice, factory shifts between flyaways. Your shoulders throb. Your hearing dulls beneath wheel guns and engines, even with protection. Sleep becomes something collected in fragments. Your relationship survives through voice notes. Your mother stops asking about Sunday lunch. Friends call each trip a holiday. They never see the loading dock at 2 in the morning. Then your mechanic misses a race through illness. The chief moves you into a more exposed position. One error could delay the car. You finish cleanly. After the session, your number one mechanic gives one nod. No smile, no speech. In this world, approval is measured in reduced supervision. Soon, you're placed on the pit crew training list. The garage has accepted you. Now the stopwatch wants proof. Level 4, the pit crew specialist. You are 27. Your normal job still fills 12-hour days. Pit stops are the extra examination performed in public. The crew gathers around a practice car at the factory. Roughly 20 people must move as one machine. Jack operators, wheel gunners, tire carriers, stabilizers, wing adjusters, and the release controller each own a fraction of 2 seconds. Your fraction is the right rear wheel. At first, 3 seconds feels miraculous. Then, 3 seconds becomes unacceptable. You rehearse the same movement until it loses meaning. Step, grip, pull, clear, retreat. Coaches film your feet. Physios strengthen your back. Analysts measure hesitation you cannot feel. A tire does not care that you landed at midnight. At the circuit, the driver overshoots by 10 centimeters. The choreography stretches around the error. Race day arrives with heat trapped beneath fireproof clothing. Your mouth is dry before the formation lap. Then the call comes. The garage empties. You kneel beside the new tire. The car attacks the marks. Guns crack twice. Old wheel away, new wheel home. The light turns green. Clean stop. You barely remember moving. A replay shows your hands on television. Your family finally understands where you stand. Next weekend, the wheel nut resists. The delay is small. The position lost is not. Cameras zoom toward your corner. Online strangers freeze the footage, circle your body, and invent a personality from half a second. The team reviews facts. Social media reviews blood. You learn to separate failure from identity. Mostly. Your reward is trust under pressure. Your cost is discovering that precision has spectators. Stops carve pain into your knees and wrists. You hide it because reserves are eager. The team needs identical movement in rain, heat, panic, and noise. Eventually, you stop being the person watched by coaches. You become the person correcting others. The chief mechanic notices. A car needs a new leader.
Level 5, the number one mechanic. You are 31. One car now ends with your signature. Front-end mechanics, rear-end mechanics, gearbox technicians, and system specialists report their readiness to you. You gather their answers, inspect the whole machine, and decide whether it can leave the garage. The driver trusts the race engineer's voice. The race engineer trusts your car. That chain sits on your chest. Mornings begin with build plans. Nights end beside silent bodywork. You notice fingerprints, cable routes, loose tape.
unfamiliar sounds. Paranoia becomes professional judgment. Before qualifying, a sensor reading flickers. Engineers suspect noise. The schedule says close the bodywork. Your instinct says wait. You reopen the area. A connector is not fully seated. The fix costs minutes and saves the session. Nobody outside the garage knows. That is the purest kind of success available to you. You join engineering briefings and hear disputes before cameras arrive. You learn how little certainty exists behind confident radio messages. You also become the shield. You correct honest errors without humiliation. You reject impossible turnarounds when checks cannot be skipped. You keep an angry driver's pressure from landing on the youngest mechanic. Leadership is not moving faster, it is controlling where pressure travels. At home, pressure travels badly. You miss your anniversary after crash damage destroys the evening plan. Your partner says the team receives your best attention and sends the remains home. You defend yourself with the championship calendar. The calendar does not apologize. Your child is born during a triple header. You arrive with an airport gift and garage photographs. The baby grips your finger. Blue paint remains beside your nail. The old pen still travels in your kit. Your car wins its first race. On the podium, champagne falls on the driver, the principal, and the trophy. In the garage, your crew hugs beneath fluorescent lights. You helped build victory. You did not see bedtime. Level 6, the chief mechanic. You were 36, both cars and now your problem. You oversee the crew, garage standards, pit equipment, build quality, and every release. The #1 mechanics carry each car. You carry the conditions around them. Your tools become schedules, staffing plans, checklists, and difficult conversations. A mechanic arrives exhausted after repeated travel. Keeping them on the crew protects continuity. Resting them protects the person. You choose rest and accept the performance risk. Another mechanic hides an injury. You recognize the movement because your own wrist has made it for years. You cannot solve everything with toughness anymore. During a wet race, one car crashes. The chassis returns under covers. Parts arrive from the factory. Engineers revise priorities. Your crew eats cold food from paper boxes. You divide the work, then walk the garage. Nobody needs another hero holding a spanner. They need order, brakes, and someone rejecting imaginary deadlines. It becomes ready by the real one. The driver scores points the next day. Cameras call it resilience. You know resilience has names, swollen hands, and unanswered messages from home. Promotion increases your view and reduces your innocence. You see budgets delay equipment, and travel consume families. You see mistakes buried beneath polished statements. You learn which leaders absorb blame. Your child begins school. You watch the first day through a video sent from the pavement. The team sends congratulations. You hate them for being kind. Then a pit lane incident forces an operational review. You map movements, communications, equipment positions, and release responsibility. Your report is blunt. Senior management expects protection. You provide evidence. The changes are adopted. For the first time, you improve not one car, but the system around both. The team manager starts inviting you upstairs. The view is better. The air is thinner.
You are 42. You no longer build the car, you build the weekend. Personnel, freight, procedures, curfews, pit stop readiness, and discipline converge on your desk. The paddock sees polished uniforms. You see dependencies pretending to be calm. Your day begins before the garage opens. Freight, credentials, inspections, shifts, transport, spares, and emergency plans must work before anyone needs them. The job rewards pessimism with smooth weekends. At a distant race, weather delays freight. One critical case remains at the airport. You cannot shout an aircraft forward. You reroute people, borrow permitted equipment, revise the build sequence, and keep senior leaders informed without feeding panic. The case arrives late. The garage opens on time. Your victory looks like nothing happened. That becomes your specialty. You gain a seat near decision makers and lose visible work.
Mechanics point at a finished car. You point at avoided disasters. One failed cable still becomes your fault. You manage adults who were once your peers. Some remember you carrying tires. One resents your promotion. Another expects friendship to defeat policy. You learn that fairness feels personal to everyone receiving less. The travel continues, but now your phone never sleeps. Factory calls cross time zones. Regulators issue updates. Hosts change access routes. Sponsors request garage moments during critical preparation. Your marriage becomes a calendar negotiation. Your child checks the schedule instead of asking. That efficiency hurts. One Sunday, a mechanic freezes after a bad stop. You recognize the stare. You remove them from the next stop, protect them from cameras, and give them another chance later. They recover. Your team records its best operational season. The sporting director praises your judgment, then hands you a rulebook clarification thick with consequences. The next level is not about making the team ready. It is about keeping the team legal. Level 8, the sporting director. You are 47. The rulebook becomes your second engine. You oversee sporting procedures, FIA communication, parc fermé compliance, penalties, pit lane conduct, and the border between clever and forbidden. Every department brings questions. Can this component change now? Can the crew touch that car? Which tire set remains available? What must be declared? What evidence supports the decision? A vague answer can become a grid penalty. You sit on the pit wall before timing, messages, rival behavior, and race control notices capable of changing everything. During a chaotic race, debris triggers a safety period. Strategy wants an immediate stop. Operations reports traffic. The driver approaches pit entry. A regulation update changes the available choice. You have seconds to interpret language written for lawyers while cars move at racing speed. You give the answer. The team pits one car and leaves the other out. One gains positions, one loses them. Both decisions can be defended. That word matters now, defended. Your reward is influence. Your cost is permanent suspicion. Rivals watch your stops. Officials inspect procedures. Journalists ask accusations. Engineers push boundaries because boundaries contain performance. You become fluent in polite disagreement. Behind closed doors, you argue with the FIA. In public, you respect the process. In debriefs, you tell colleagues that outrage is not evidence. Occasionally, you discover the team is wrong. You must say so before someone else does. The paddock begins recognizing your face. Strangers request photographs. Your child sends one to friends, proud at last. You zoom into the image and notice you are still wearing a headset during dinner. A senior leader asks you to soften a report after a procedural failure. The wording could protect reputations. It could also preserve the conditions that caused the failure. You refuse. For 3 weeks, meetings become colder. Then another incident proves your warning correct. The team principal backs you publicly. Soon, the racing director leaves.
You inherit the track. Level 9, the racing director. You are 52. Every competitive operation at the circuit now points toward you. Specialists still lead engineering, mechanics, strategy, sporting, and operations. You decide which problem matters, which voice breaks ties, and which risk survives. Friday brings an unstable car. One driver wants changes, the other wants long-run learning. Engineers disagree while practice disappears. Everyone has data. Nobody has certainty. You force the room to define the decision, not defend departments. The team splits test programs, protects essential spares, and sets a deadline for convergence. One car improves, the other does not. You own both outcomes. On the pit wall, channels layer over engines. Driver radio, strategy, weather, rivals, stewards. The public sees one decision. You hear its argument. A late safety car creates a choice between track position and fresh tires. Simulations divide. The driver asks for guidance. You authorize the aggressive call. It fails. The car falls from a podium to 6th. Cameras wait outside the garage.
You can blame the model, the timing, or bad luck. All are partly true. You say the decision was yours. Inside, the team remembers. Power changes failure. At lower levels, you fear being blamed for mistakes. Here, you fear others being blamed for yours. Your body now pays through blood pressure and shallow sleep. Your partner has built a life without your presence. Your child chooses a university. You know rival tire degradation better than their favorite subject. The team improves over 2 seasons. Pit errors fall. Communication shortens. Engineers challenge without performing. Mechanics report fatigue before it becomes danger. Then, the team principal is removed after poor results. The board asks for an interim leader. You enter the meeting carrying the same blue pen. Nobody mentions the color. Level 10, the team principal. You are 56. The entire team now ends with your name. Hundreds of employees, 2 drivers, limited money, public expectation, private politics. You represent everything in boardrooms, garages, press conferences, and silence after failure. Your old dream was reaching the race team. Now, you decide who remains in it. The first weeks are surgical. Sponsors want confidence, owners want progress, engineers want resources, drivers want priority. The cost cap turns ambition into allocation. You hire leaders who may replace you. You dismiss people whose families know your face. You approve structures whose results may outlive your job. On race weekends, cameras study your breathing. Drivers criticize strategy. Rivals question legality. Sponsors dislike statements. Owners call during qualifying. Leadership becomes deciding which truth belongs in which room. The car finally becomes competitive. Victory arrives after rain and one brave strategy call. The garage erupts. You hug engineers, mechanics, analysts, cleaners, and people television never names. On the podium, champagne reaches you. For 1 minute, every broken promise tries becoming worthwhile. Then you see the #1 mechanic below, checking the car even after victory. Their blue inspection marks cover a panel near the cockpit. You remember Banbury, 83 pounds, a backwards fastener circled by your first supervisor. The room returns more clearly than the anthem. That night, the trophy sits on a table in your office. The factory has emptied. Your partner is asleep at home. Your child has sent congratulations from another country. You open a drawer and find the old paint pen. The cap is cracked, the ink is dry. You spent a lifetime earning access, first to the car, then the garage, then the pit wall, then every locked room. Each door gave you power. Each door closed somewhere else. You place the dead pen beside the trophy and switch off the office lights. The fastest life still leaves you behind.